Hey up and welcome everyone. As usual, the kits for today's flower is available at ayupduckcreations.com and the link is in the description below. Today we're going to be doing the Woodland Violet. This is what the kit contains. And these are the tools that we're going to be using today. You're also going to need a sewing needle. First of all, as usual, don't forget to hit those subscribe and like buttons and don't miss out on any future videos. This is the little flower that we're going to be using. We're going to be doing some sewing, so the kit includes some embroidery thread, a piece of purple and a piece of white. The white you're going to leave as is. The purple thread you're going to divide into 3 strands. It starts off as 6 strands, but we just need the 3 strands, so you're just going to separate it up. And once you've separated up the thread, you're going to thread your needle and you're going to put a knot on the end of the thread so it doesn't slip through the felt. And the other needle that I use is a big doll needle, and I poke the holes in the felt with that. But first of all, we're going to start off with the wire. We're just using a fine wire today, and we're going to make a hook on the top there. Don't close it up, not yet. And then we're going to take the white thread, and we're going to have a piece of card that measures about 1 inch wide. You can use the backing, the contents list that's in the kit if you want to. Just cut a strip of 1 inch. We're going to wrap the white thread around twice and snip it off. This is going to create the little stamens that are inside the centre of the violet. And we're just going to place these inside that little hook that we made. Doesn't need to be neat and tidy, we're going to clean it up later. But just make sure that we close that hook up nice and tight so the thread doesn't escape. And now we're going to do a little bit of sewing with that thick purple thread. We're going to take the small white shape and the small purple shape and position the white shape just fractionally away from the tip of the purple shape, so you have a little bit of a gap there. And we're just going to create 4 lines on that white shape. Doesn't need to be neat and tidy, just 4 lines, fanning out from the bottom point there. When you've done those 4 lines, we're just going to flip it over and we're going to secure that thread at the base of the petal. And now we're going to attach that small petal onto the stem that we created. Just poke a little hole in the pointy end there. Not too close like I did. And then we're going to put a dab of glue on one side of that wire. We don't want too much glue, we don't want it seeping out everywhere, just a tiny dot. And squeeze that single petal up in place. Now I'm going to trim off these stamens. We just want a nice little clump in the centre of the flower there. I don't trim them off before in case I get glue all over the place. I just want to keep them out of the way. Make a little hole in the centre of the other 4 petals. And we're going to put a small amount of glue on the back of that first petal that we put on there. Nobody's going to see this thread, so don't worry about how messy you've made it or how clean you've made it. Nobody's going to see it. And that first petal is going to sit between 2 of the 4 petals. So just put them in position, pinch and push them against that first petal that we've got in there. and the other two petals are just going to lift up underneath those thread stamens that we created. Again, just small dabs of glue, and pinch and push them up towards the little thread stamens. And there we have it, a pretty little violet, and you're just going to do the rest for the other flowers, and then we're going to make a little bunch of violets, perfect for a bud vase. Gather all 5 violets together and just stagger them in height so that they look nice when they're splayed out. And then what I do is I take the stems and I twist them around each other just so that they stay in place and they don't slip out. And I'm going to tie those together with some floral tape. Just wind the floral tape around those twisted stems and everything will stay in place nicely. The kit also includes a green felt to create some green stems to finish off the bud vase. There is another video that I will link here, and that will take you straight to that video to create those stems. Just position the violets exactly where you want to, and then we'll pop them into a bud vase. When I put things into bud vases, I always bend the end of the wire. For some reason that seems to help to make them stand still instead of flopping about all over the place. And these are the 2 green stems that you can create too inside the bud vase. And there we have it, the perfect little bud vase. Now these little flowers are perfect for adding to gifts or headbands, and I'm just going to show you here how to create a headband. We're going to put a backing onto 3 of the violets. But first of all, we need to snip off that wire from the violets. We want to take it as close to the felt as we possibly can. We don't want any wire sticking out that's going to hurt anybody's head. So get as close in there as you can and snip off that wire. And then the backing that we're going to put on there will also protect anybody from any wire that may be sticking out. Now the leaf of a wild violet is a heart shaped, so I've got a heart shaped piece of felt here, and I'm just going to create some texture on the edge of the felt. I'm going to use 3mm scalloped pinking shears, and I'm just going to take that all around the edge of the felt. Now with flowers, I always like to group them in on even numbers. For the headband I'm going to do 3, for the bud vase I did 5. So I'm just going to position 3 of the violets on this leaf. I just want to test out where I want to put them. And then I'll just put 3 little dobs of glue on there, just to hold them in place. Make sure they're sticking down nicely, and then I open up the centre and put some glue inside just to hold all 3 of them together. A little cluster of flowers like this also makes a great addition to any gift that you're giving somebody. Just gives that little personal touch, and then they have something to keep. But we're going to add it to a headband. And when I'm doing headbands, I usually use a box just to wrap the headband around, just to keep everything in place. Any kind of box will do. The headband won't stretch, it'll go back to the usual size. And I just test out where I want it to look and how I want it to look. I just want it to be slightly off. So I just flip it over, and then I'm going to use this small piece of felt here, and I'm going to glue it in place and attach it to the headband itself. I just put glue at the top and the bottom, and that way the headband won't actually get stuck. It should be able to slide through. sure everything's attached, and then we're all finished. We have a pretty headband. Thanks for watching everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, the kits are available at aup.creations.com. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and I'll speak to you again later.